Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes 5 Hong Kong hikes for when you've had enough family and food this Christmas. Premium on dual-listed Chinese firms' shares at home seen widening in 2024. Anderson, hardest part of my job is dashing Hong Kong players' Asian Cup dreams. Fashion retailer Shein leads the pack of Chinese tech IPOs to watch in 2024. No Christmas cheer for Hong Kong restaurants as patrons head across the border. 5 Hong Kong hikes for when you've had enough family and food this Christmas. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong has a multitude of hiking trails to offer for those looking to spend Boxing Day outdoors after the Christmas indulgence. Here are 5 suggestions for trails of varying difficulty: the Hoc Tau Reservoir Family Walk, Quarry Bay to Repulse Bay, Maclehose Trail Section 5, Mui Wa to Discovery Bay via Tiger's Head, and Sharp Peak. All of these trails offer stunning views and the opportunity to get some fresh air and exercise after the festive season. Premium on dual-listed Chinese firms' shares at home seen widening in 2024. South China Morning Post. Chinese companies listed on domestic exchanges are commanding higher valuations for their shares than their counterparts listed in Hong Kong. On average, yuan-based stocks are trading 51% higher than their Hong Kong-listed counterparts. This premium is expected to widen next year due to policy tailwinds. The Hong Kong stock market has been the worst performer among major world equity markets in 2018, with the Hang Seng Index losing 17%. Foreign investors have been selling Hong Kong stocks, with $2.3 billion sold in December alone. Anderson, hardest part of my job is dashing Hong Kong players' Asian Cup dreams. South China Morning Post. The head coach of Hong Kong's football team, Jorn Anderson, has said that telling players they have been omitted from the AFC Asian Cup squad will be the hardest part of his job. The Asian Football Confederation has increased the number of players teams can bring from 23 to 26, which has given Anderson more space to choose his final squad. Hong Kong will play their first match against the United Arab Emirates on January 14. Fashion retailer Shein leads the pack of Chinese tech IPOs to watch in 2024. South China Morning Post. Several Chinese technology startups are expected to pursue IPOs in 2024 or early 2025, with most of them planning to make their trading debut in Hong Kong. The most high-profile company in this group is e-commerce firm Shein, which is expected to go public in the next 12 to 18 months. 6 mainland Chinese companies are on the list of firms expected to go public, while 153 U.S. companies and 31 Indian firms are also planning an IPO. No Christmas cheer for Hong Kong restaurants as patrons head across the border. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong restaurant owners are facing a bleak Christmas season, with slow reservations as customers appear to be making holiday plans across the border. The strong Hong Kong dollar is driving residents to neighboring Shenzhen, where there are reportedly more attractive and higher quality dining options. Restaurant owners are concerned that business will not improve during the holiday season and expect the same for New Year's Eve and Lunar New Year. The Immigration Department estimates that more than 9 million people will cross the border between Hong Kong and mainland China during the Christmas and New Year holidays. How Malaysia is finding its way out of the middle-income trap. Nikkei Asia. Malaysia is on the cusp of shedding its middle-income status and becoming a high-income nation, thanks to its rapidly growing economy and young population. The country's gross domestic product, GDP, grew by 8.7% last year, the highest in 22 years, and is estimated to grow by 4% this year, despite the global economic slowdown. Malaysia's per capita gross national income was $11,780 in 2022. If the economy continues to grow at a rate of 5.5% per year, the country could achieve high-income status in 2 or 3 years. Malaysia has been stuck in the middle-income trap for more than 15 years, a phenomenon experienced by countries that are unable to move up economically. The trap is characterized by stagnant growth, caught between developed nations and developing countries. However, Malaysia has made progress in recent years, thanks to government policies aimed at addressing economic disparities and attracting foreign investment. The country's ethnic Chinese population is traditionally strong in commerce and industrial activities, and the government has implemented policies to ensure a more equal distribution of opportunities. Malaysia's success in overcoming the middle-income trap could serve as an example for other developing countries in the global south. On topic, Asia travel news highlights. Nikkei Asia. As the tourism industry in Asia fights for a full recovery from the pandemic, here are some key news events that could affect travel plans in 2024. Shanghai Disney Resort has opened a Zootopia-themed attraction to meet growing demand for local tourism products. COVID cases are rising across Southeast Asia, prompting countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia to issue advisories asking people to mask up and get vaccinated. A new hotel in Tokyo's Asakusa district offers all-you-can-drink Japanese sake, while a new mega mall in Bangkok, M-Sphere, has opened with over 300 tenants. Bedbugs are threatening Asia's post-COVID travel recovery, and Airbnb has been fined $10 million for misleading users in Australia. Hong Kong Disneyland has opened a World of Frozen attraction to help rescue the park from years of losses, and the Sedona Hotel Yangon in Myanmar has reopened under new ownership. O'Sullivan says he's more appreciated in Asia as he eyes Hong Kong snooker event. South China Morning Post. Snooker world number 1 Ronnie O'Sullivan has said he feels more appreciated in Asia than in his native UK. O'Sullivan, who recently won the UK Championship for a record 8th time, said some tournaments in the UK don't feel special and that he gets more support and appreciation in Asia. The snooker player has taken part in a number of exhibition events in China and won the Shanghai Masters for a 4th successive time in September. Real Wolf Warriors? China punches up private forces to guard overseas interests. South China Morning Post. China is increasingly turning to private security firms to protect its interests abroad, particularly in regions where Chinese companies are heavily invested, such as Africa. The China-Africa Business Council and the China Institutes of Contemporary International Relations recently held a seminar calling for Chinese security firms to become more internationalized and localized, and to provide tailor-made security solutions for different industries and countries. China has set up around 47,000 overseas firms across 190 countries or regions, mainly in energy, mining, infrastructure construction, and manufacturing sectors. With the increasing risks faced by Chinese investors abroad, such as the Ukraine war and the Israel-Gaza war, private security firms are being relied on to protect Chinese interests and ensure the safety of personnel and assets. The Chinese government is encouraging companies to strengthen their knowledge and ability to assess risks before investing overseas. The need for private security firms is particularly evident in high-risk regions where Chinese projects are located, such as war-torn South Sudan. However, the development of China's private security sector still has a long way to go, and Chinese firms are currently unable to carry firearms weapons due to domestic regulations. Chinese private security firms are also relatively small compared to their Western counterparts and often have historical ties with the military or police forces. Counselor guidelines are a means to an end. SCMP opinion. The Hong Kong government has issued new guidelines for district councillors that aim to enhance district administration under the Patriots-only governance approach. The guidelines include requirements such as attendance at meetings, office opening hours, submission of work reports, and participation in public activities. The government is also targeting actions adopted by opposition members in the past, such as disrupting order and insulting officials. Breaches of the guidelines may result in punishments such as verbal warnings or suspension of duty. The government's aim is to show that the revamped model can genuinely enhance governance and improve people's livelihoods. This Christmas can be just like the ones we used to know. SCMP opinion. Hong Kong is celebrating its first Christmas since the end of the pandemic, with traditional festivities and celebrations being embraced. The city has been transformed into a winter wonderland, with Christmas lights, decorations, and immersive installations. Christmas markets are offering traditional treats and the chance to meet Santa Claus. Many residents are taking the opportunity to travel for the holiday, but discounts and incentives are being offered to encourage people to stay in Hong Kong. The ability to attract tourists is also crucial for the city's economic recovery. The article emphasizes the importance of remembering the deeper meaning of Christmas, which is about peace, goodwill, and generosity. The Operation Santa Claus campaign, which features charitable projects, aims to support those less fortunate during the holiday season. The article concludes by wishing readers a happy Christmas. The contrasting paths of Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Economist. 2 new books explore the impact of African American basketball players Michael Jordan and LeBron James on race relations in the U.S. Jumpman by Johnny Smith details how Jordan sought to transcend race, while The Book of James by Valerie Babb shows how James uses his celebrity to give blackness a place of prominence. Jordan was known for his reluctance to engage in activism, while James has been a vocal advocate for racial justice. Each player's approach reflects the social context of their respective eras. China's NIO unveils executive EV to take on Panamera. Bloomberg. Chinese electric vehicle, EV, manufacturer NIO has unveiled a luxury electric sedan to take on the likes of Porsche and Tesla. The ET9 will begin deliveries in Q1 2025 at an estimated starting price of $112,000. The 4-seater model will be equipped with NIO's self-developed 5-nanometer automotive-grade chip and large cylindrical battery cells, and will be compatible with a 900-volt ultra-fast charging platform that adds 255 kilometers of range in 5 minutes. NIO also launched its latest generation of NIO Power Swap stations, capable of replacing a depleted battery with a recharged one in 3 minutes. Things have changed since golden era of China relations, says Cameron. Telegraph. Former UK Prime Minister David Cameron has acknowledged that the golden era of relations between Britain and China has come to an end due to China's increasing aggression. Cameron, who is now the Foreign Secretary, broke from the government's previous reluctance to condemn the detention of Jimmy Lai, a pro-democracy newspaper publisher in Hong Kong. Lai is facing charges under China's national security law and could be sentenced to life in prison. Cameron expressed concern over Lai's prosecution and called for his immediate and unconditional release. He also emphasized the need for the UK to protect itself against cyber attacks and align with its allies to counter China's assertiveness. Bustling city stores are hurting luxury middlemen. Bloomberg. Online luxury retailers, such as Farfetch and Matches Fashion, are struggling as fashion houses invest in their own online sales platforms and consumers return to physical stores. Luxury brands are increasingly choosing to invest in direct-to-consumer solutions, reducing the relevance of middlemen. Farfetch was recently rescued from insolvency with bridge loans from Kuong and Greenoaks Capital, while Matches Fashion is being bought by Frasers. The business model of online luxury retailers relies heavily on discounts and promotions to attract customers, resulting in thin margins. One potential solution is for online retailers to exploit the traffic of multi-brand platforms while maintaining control over pricing, logistics, and stock. The industry may also see more consolidation and mergers in the future. Meanwhile, the U.S. commercial real estate downturn is set to become a lender problem in 2023 as $544 billion of loans come due for repayment, leading to defaults and bank fallout. Small lenders will be particularly at risk due to their exposure to commercial real estate lending. And that's a wrap for today's news. We covered a range of topics, from hiking trails in Hong Kong to the future of Chinese tech IPOs. But before we go, let's dive a little deeper into some of these stories. First, let's talk about the hiking trails in Hong Kong. After all the indulgence of Christmas, it's the perfect time to get out and enjoy some fresh air and exercise. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced hiker, Hong Kong has trails for everyone. So put on your hiking boots and explore the Hoc Tau Reservoir Family Walk, Quarry Bay to Repulse Bay, Maclehose Trail Section 5, Mui Wa to Discovery Bay via Tiger's Head, or Sharp Peak. You'll be treated to stunning views and a chance to burn off those Christmas calories. Now, let's move on to the stock market. Chinese companies listed on domestic exchanges are commanding higher valuations for their shares than their counterparts listed in Hong Kong. This premium is expected to widen next year, which is not good news for the struggling Hong Kong stock market. Foreign investors have been selling Hong Kong stocks, and the market has been the worst performer among major world equity markets in 2018. It's a tough time for Hong Kong, but let's hope things turn around in the new year. Next, we have some sports news. The head coach of Hong Kong's football team, Jorn Anderson, has the difficult task of telling players they have been omitted from the AFC Asian Cup squad. The Asian Football Confederation has increased the number of players teams can bring to the tournament, giving Anderson more space to choose his final squad. It's never easy to deliver bad news, but let's hope the selected players make Hong Kong proud in the upcoming matches. Now, let's talk tech IPOs. Several Chinese technology startups are expected to go public in the next year or two, with most of them planning to debut on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. One company to watch is e-commerce firm Shine, which is expected to go public in the next 12 to 18 months. It's an exciting time for the Chinese tech scene, and it will be interesting to see how these companies fare in the public market. Moving on to the restaurant industry. Hong Kong restaurant owners are facing a tough holiday season, with slow reservations as customers head across the border to Shenzhen for more attractive dining options. The strong Hong Kong dollar is driving residents to seek better deals and higher quality meals outside the city. It's a challenging time for restaurant owners, but let's hope they find creative ways to attract customers and keep the holiday spirit alive. And finally, let's take a look at Malaysia's journey out of the middle-income trap. The country is on track to shed its middle-income status and become a high-income nation thanks to its rapidly growing economy and young population. Malaysia has made progress in recent years, thanks to government policies aimed at addressing economic disparities and attracting foreign investment. It's a success story that could inspire other developing countries in the global south. Well, that's all for today's news. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Remember, these are just a few of the many stories happening around the world. So, what are your thoughts on these topics? Do you have any questions or opinions? Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email,